All right, boys. We got another coffee. We're ready to roll, man. Guys, here's the deal. About once a year, I find myself in a 2-week-long period where I'm convinced that Meshuggah is my favorite band of all time. I mean, like, no other band has ever been this good for this long. These dudes have been just genting away in Sweden for like 40 years, and they haven't let up at all. This might be an unpopular opinion amongst Meshuggah fans, but I think Koloss is their best album. There are 0 skips on that album. I feel like you can make an argument for like almost any Meshuggah album, but like that album is stacked. I Am Colossus is one of the heaviest songs I've ever heard in my life. Demon's Name is Surveillance is insane. Do Not Look Down is so groovy. Behind the Sun is so underrated. The Hurt That Finds You First is even more unrated. That song, there's a moment in that song where they've been building for like 2.5 minutes with nothing but just an onslaught of like thrashy, crazy riffs. And then the drums finally go halftime and the guitars drop down like a half step or something. Meshuggah are the masters of building tension and releasing it at the exact right moment. If you've never seen Meshuggah live, you need to make some arrangements. Even if you don't like Meshuggah, you don't really enjoy their music, but you're a fan of metal and you haven't seen them live, you need to. Anyway, welcome back to Thick Riff Thursday. What I want to do for today's episode is cover a Meshuggah song and use more modern plugins and modern guitar tones and drum libraries and all that, and see what this riff would sound like in a more modern production. So the reason I bring up Koloss is because, first of all, it's my favorite Meshuggah album, but also it has one of the heaviest riffs of all time. It might be the heaviest riff of all time. If I had to choose one riff, I think I would pick the first riff from Break Those Bones, Whose Sinews Gave It Motion. That whole song is disgusting, but that first riff is so low and chuggy and sludgy and like slow, and just like everything about it is gross. So yeah, I would love to record this riff and hear it in a more like modern metal production. Dude, that riff is so insane. I think he's tapping that with the pick, right? Like that's kind of what it sounds like to get that like super quick. Should we track that lead first and then do drum? No, we should do drums first. I think I'll do drums first, but I need to do drums to the reference. So trying not to get demonetized here. Maybe I'll just put it at like a really low volume. Okay, so for drums, I made a little bit of a bold choice here. We might change it. It might be a little overkill for this, or it might be perfect, but I'm gonna try to use Oldham drums. All right, so let's program drums here, man. Ooh, man, all right, we made it through like that whole riff. Dude, they play that riff. How long do they play that? They play that riff for like, they play it for 56 seconds. I played that all the way through, kick and snare, with only one little up in the middle. So pretty proud of myself for that. I've only had to listen to this song about 9,000 times, but you know, give me a little credit here. Okay, so cymbals, I don't know if I'm gonna stay like 100% true to the original. I'm kind of gonna just do like accents like Thomas Hake does, but I feel like I'm just gonna feel it out. I'm not gonna try to copy exactly what he's doing. I needed to get the toms at the end there, but the cymbals were good. I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe I'll make some adjustments later on, but does a little tom thing at the end. Dude, we get to put bass drops in a Meshuggah song. You know we're doing that. You know what? We're getting ahead of ourselves. We don't have to put bass drops yet. I like this guitar tone, but I feel like it could be a little more Meshuggah. I know Meshuggah has a Fortin signature amp. They kind of have a little bit of a dark tone with kind of a boomy low end. That's kind of nice for now. All right, let's rock with this tone for now. Oh, I lost where I was. Oh man, I had it pretty close through the whole thing. Dude, that sounds sick. I'm actually really liking Otoholm drums for this so far. I thought it might be overkill, but like it actually might be perfect. It might be perfect. I got lost again. Damn it. Dude, that's the problem with Meshuggah riffs, dude. They go on for so long and it takes them so freaking long to circle back around. You just get lost. Like it's not like mechanically difficult and like the polyrhythm itself is not too hard, but you just it's like wandering around the lost woods, dude. Everything starts to look the same. That was a really good take. Should we quad track this? I'm kind of feeling like we should quad track this with like a different tone. Like I want it to sound absolutely massive. Let's see how this sounds quad tracked. That was a really good take, actually. I think I want that to be like the main one, because when I quad track, what I typically do is I've got two mains that are a little higher in the mix, and then two support that are a little lower. So I think I want that one to be a main. Okay, so I want to do the second pair of guitars with a different tone. Maybe we do it with a different amp sim. We could try Gojira. What if we try some GGD cabs? Oh, dude, these cabs sound so good. That sounds great, yeah. So I want it to be super, for lack of a better word, thick. And I think those tones will gel together nicely. Oh my God. Oh my God, guys. Quad tracking was the move. Listen to that, dude. Listen to it with just the Fortin guitars. Sounds good, sounds chunky. But then we add the Gojira in there. That is aggressive. And this EQ on the guitar bus helps a ton. This notch is kind of specific to a tone that's not even there anymore, so we can get rid of that. But dude, these dynamic bands down here clamping down on those chugs, that helps. Because dude, without it, those would be out of hand. Yeah, that's crazy. Should we do bass or should we do the lead guitar? let's do bass. All right, guys, here's the deal about bass. So Meshuggah most of the time tunes up to the same octave as the guitars. I don't know if he's doing it on this song, because this song does sound pretty low, but I'm not sure. Almost sounds like he's octave below on this one, but I don't know if my bass can handle it. That's what I'm trying to say. I've done it before, but I haven't done it in a long time, and I don't know how it's gonna sound. We're gonna go for it, and we're gonna see what happens. Dude, I'm surprised Parallax is like actually picking up this low F. That's wild. All right, man, here we go. That's kind of awesome. That's kind of sick. I mean, it's just fun to play. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna program this in MIDI anyway, because I want to layer it with like some subby synth tracks and maybe some like Argent metal sounding tracks. Not super like aggressive, like not super high in the mix, because I don't want it to sound like Argent metal Meshuggah, which on paper it sounds like it'd be pretty sick. But I want to stay somewhat true to the original sound. So I'm going to program this in MIDI either way, but live bass right now is just fun. Okay, that take felt really good. I guess it's time to do this lead. That's harder than it looks to get it like super consistent. Yeah, we are putting a big old bass drop right there on the downbeat. Okay, so real quick, let's program the MIDI for this riff. I don't think it'll take too long. I think maybe I'll just want a plain old sine wave. All right, we've got some nice synth layers there. All right, boys, I think we're done. Let's throw the mastering chain on and listen from the top. That sounds absolutely massive. First of all, right off the bat, like, I'm so glad I quad tracked the guitars. That sounds so huge. As opposed to that, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I hope you enjoyed this Thick Riff Thursday Meshuggah edition. All right, see you guys next week. Peace.